Good morning. It's 8:30 a.m. and we are here for Central Services Update with Tom Gaines.
Good morning, commissioners. So I'll get started with consent. We do have quad purchases this week for renew for $29,312.46. It is the quad, it is expected, so that's the only thing throughout Central Services that's on consent this week. Moving to the fairgrounds, Chris did go in on Saturday to address another blown fuse at the North Campground. A squirrel had crossed the streams and blew it, but we did lose power in a number of other places. The CBRE had to stop for like 30 minutes, but then they were back at it. We're going to use some leftover. I'm going to put a letter into consent for next week. We're going to use some leftover capital funds to purchase lighting for nonprofit food booths in the livestock barns. They still have a lot of the T8 and T12 fluorescents, and we've been going through each year as we had capital left over, buying LED replacements, and that's been one of the winter projects we've done. So we're planning on doing that again this year. And it's about $26,000 in lighting, but it's going to take care of most of the livestock barns and all of the nonprofit food booths. So we're almost done converting all of our lighting to LED. So I'm getting rid of all the T8s and the T12s. So you'll see that letter next week. The coroner's office, I did receive a draft contract from Perkins Coie this morning. I made some edits and sent it back. They had some names wrong, and they had some. I was kind of surprised at some of the mistakes they made. So I sent it back, and I'm hopeful we'll get that ironed out this week. It's 42 pages of legalese, so it's a bit monotonous to go through and look at everything and all, because they track changes. So all the lined out items are there along with all the new items, and it just makes your eyes go buggy after a while. So. But hopefully that'll be good to go by next week. We're a bit stuck until this gets completed. I know the architect has released the civil engineer to do some work, and they've contacted Western Pacific Engineering out of Moses Lake to do some of the survey work on the property and do some of the early stuff. So we are discussing the ways to best maximize local contractor utilization on this project. We're receiving a lot of interest. I'm hearing from electricians and plumbing outfits and a lot of stuff that want to take a shot at this project. So it should be a lot easier. It's not nearly the same as the jail, and the scopes of work are considerably smaller. So it should be easier to find a lot of local contractors to do this work. So we're already working on that outreach message to try and get it out to all the locals. For the jail, we're at the point where you don't see too many changes to the exterior, but inside the building, there's numerous changes every week as we continue to apply finishes throughout. I met with Josh Sainsbury last week to review audiovisual components for emergency management. And we're trying to make sure that all of the necessary infrastructure is in place to support those. We had scheduled this entire media wall. Josh has pared that down a lot to just one monitor, which is pretty nice. So on the main media wall, one monitor, and then on opposing walls, a couple others, but not doing the same thing they did in the monitors that are in the EOC now were like $8,000, $9,000 a piece. And he's wanting to just get either a smart TV or just a smart monitor. So probably $1,000 versus $8,000, for those monitors, depending on what size they are. So it was nice to see that tech get pared way down. Right. I think maybe that EOC has been giving them a lot of opportunity to figure out how to run an EOC and what they want to do in an EOC.
Will they be able to take some of the equipment from here over there?
They don't, so they're not using that. It doesn't do what they want it to do, and we're planning on using that as another meeting room.
Okay.
So we can use that for courthouse employees and things like that. So, yeah, so right now, and those are things, so those aren't covered by construction dollars. I've been telling Jim and Chris at the fairgrounds and Kevin that capital-wise, I expect the sheriff's going to come with a pretty big capital request because of all of the items that the startup costs, things that aren't covered by construction dollars that they have to ask for in their budget. So I know Josh is thinking about that for EM. I know that Phil Coates is thinking about that on the correction side. So hopefully,
Well, for emergency management, there are a lot of grants out there,
yeah.
a lot. So
Yeah.
hopefully they utilize those to help.
Yeah, if they
A lot of
have
the
them, if
equipment
they
they
have the
previously-
funding. So, and maybe that can even be replacement funds for whatever it is they purchase. But I don't have my finger on the pulse of that stuff. So, do you guys meet with Josh separately or no? Just the sheriff?
Unless we need to.
Yeah, no, I
We
understand.
haven't had any.
I have asked, so I've had the opportunity just by chance to meet I met the chief for Royal City PD. And he had not been asked yet for a tour of the jail. I offered one up, but other law enforcement partners around here have been. And I asked Josh if they were working on that as far as emergency management goes, and he's already reached out to a lot of their local law enforcement partners. And once we get a little closer to finish, they're going to be doing tours and really showing all of their folks that they can work with, what they can do there. So I'm hoping the sheriff is going to start doing that with local police departments. One thing interesting that came up this week, this is going to be part of the Central Services update, but since we're talking about it, I met the new chief of police for Soap Lake, Pat. I was meeting with Ray Towery last week, and he popped in there, let him know, about the IT agreement we have and the municipal services agreement. He's really happy with that. They don't plan on making any changes. Royal City Police Department has been asking to do the same thing. So they have all the pricing. They were really good with it. We sent a copy of the agreement to them, and they had their attorney look at it, who is Catherine Kinnison. And she wants us to change the hold harmless and the insurance provisions, to which we're saying a hard no. The way she's got it written, we're providing insurance for Royal City, and we're just not going to do that. We have no idea what the police department's going to do on their network, and if they have a ransomware attack, that's not on us. So we're happy to provide services, but we have to protect our network and our interests. So once I received that letter from Royal City, I sent it to Barbara Duerbeck, and I sent it to Blair and said, take a look at this from a risk standpoint. And they all very quickly responded, and Blair even went to Clear Risk, and they said, do not change what you have written. Do not do that. So they were all in agreement that it puts the county at a great amount of risk, which, they can continue doing the things they're doing now, or find a different service provider. It's a great deal for them if they get it from us, because they get a lot of really good support, but we don't extend the insurance for the county to municipalities. So, and I think that's what Catherine was looking for, but we're not gonna migrate that risk, so anyway, so some of you might hear about that as the week goes on. But back to the coroner's office, back to the jail. Don Mixon will be here. So he's one of CRA's architects that comes out when Will can't. They come out every quarter. They review the contractors, the job. We're always going over billing and change orders, costs, that kind of thing. He'll be here this Wednesday. And I am hoping that the sheriff is communicating with you regarding training and plans to occupy. I don't know if he has or not. If he's not, I might be a bit worried. You should start getting some considerable communication as to how they're going to transition. It's going to be winter before you know it, and then it's going to be spring, and they should have all of their policies and procedures rewritten, because they had to change all of it. I know they've been working with the National Institute of Corrections. But I can't, just like I can't babysit the courts, I can't, I have to get out of their way and let them. I'm not an expert.
I thought we're having the meetings, the coordination meetings, and I don't know the coordination team that we've hired that should be working on the transitional piece for those at the jail. So
and I just
really been looped in.
Okay.
I mean,
you might ask the next time you have an update with Joey, just to make sure that it's on track, that he's not worried about anything, that we don't have any surprises. I reached out to Kim Allen this morning. I was trying to set up meetings with the judges from Asotin and Jefferson counties to talk about the differences between how we're set up and the remote courts. And Tyson Hill sent back saying that our judges had got together and decided they didn't want to do that. They wanted to have an internal meeting, but they haven't scheduled any kind of a meeting. They haven't reached out to me. So I emailed Kim Allen this morning to say, have they reached out to you? I don't want it to be last minute and they say, this won't work, you have to build a courthouse, because we're just not going to do that. And I'm just hoping that's not where they're going. So we'll see what happens. And as soon as I hear back from Kim, but not getting any communication from the Superior Court, even though I've gone to the Superior Court 4 or 5 times over the last year and said, I'm concerned about this. I just don't want to wait until the last minute for them to say.
And they brought it up too, that they are some concerns, so they're supposed to be working on that transition.
Well, how better to address the concerns than to talk to the presiding judges of counties that are doing the exact thing, right? This wheel has been invented. There's no need to reinvent it.
Right.
So, so I'm just a little worried about that tact where they say, no, we don't want to meet with them. We want to, so anyway. So I don't know where that is.
Tom, if you don't know where that is, you probably don't want to know where that is.
Well, yeah, but at the same time,
We need to address it, yeah.
I don't want the county to fail. I don't want us to look dumb, right? And we're building a great facility there that's going to be,
prepared.
yeah. The city had some bad news last week. They're drilling their well. They're down there, I don't know, 500-600 feet, I think, and their drill bit broke. So the tip of it broke off. Yeah. Luckily, whatever the contract they had with the well driller, they don't have to pay for the bit or for drilling a new well. They can move 15 feet away and start drilling again, which is what they're doing. They're going to move 15.
They can't recover the broken bit?
They tried.
Okay.
And it's down there deep enough, and I guess it's stuck well enough that.
Jammed up.
So they have to actually abandon that, fill it, cover it. So they're going to move 15 feet over to the east. I'm working with Sean O'Brien on this. They'll start drilling that again. What that means for us is the deal that we have with the city about giving them an acre. It's going to be an acre plus 15 feet. I mean, they're going to pay for it, but they have to get their well drilled, and they're the regulations, dictating how they can and can't do that. They're kind of stuck, and so we're gonna help as best we can. So we'll figure it out, but they should start drilling, I hope, this week on their new well.
And then they're gonna abandon that well, take care of that too.
They are, yeah, and they'll remove the building. They'll decommission that well, get rid of it, and they're gonna take care of the lot line adjustments, so all of that, plus pay for the extra. That's like 0.56 acres, so they'll pay the difference to us, but yeah, it just kind of stinks that drill bit would break off. The cost of engineering for Wheeler Road to add windows is likely going to be about $12,000 to get all the drawings and everything ready to bid the project, so that we can get drawings that people can follow. This is going to require obtaining permits and conducting a bid process. So I expect that Kevin will have some kind of letter to the board for consent for that engineering next week. They sent all of the costing to him, but it was kind of vague in the way they had it written. So he's getting that cleared up and should have something to you next week. And then hopefully we can still get that done this year. As far as the bleachers at the fairgrounds, I need to format and write letters to the tribes regarding the bleacher work. Fairgrounds Commerce, as it turns out, is not going to honor the grant unless I notify the tribes of this work. I don't know how the tribe is going to react to this. The work is done. Worst case scenario is that they claim to be angry and we don't receive the grant, but ultimately we fund the project ourselves and don't get paid back. But as a reminder, I didn't apply for this grant. The Rodeo Association did, and it was awarded to them, but they can't build on our property. So when I took it over, I wasn't aware that there was this requirement to notify the tribes. Also, we had notified them for work in the past with the Washington State Department of Agriculture twice on the same address and parcel. So I didn't think there was a need to do it a third time, but I'm gonna do it a third time. But this time, the difference is the work is already done, so I don't know how they're gonna react to it. But
Why would they have a problem with it the first 2 times?
no, they didn't even, only
They didn't
one,
respond.
that only one did, Spokane Indians. You know, they were the only ones to respond. None of the rest ever responded. So.
Why is that? Just because it's Department of Ag
Uh,
grant?
Yeah, just because it's a state grant and the state recognizes that we're on stolen land and that we
Stolen
can't-
land.
Yes, and we can't do this work without notifying the tribes and letting them know. And we also have to have a mitigation plan in place, which we do, in case we find remains or tools, or artifacts of the tribes. We have a stop work plan and a plan to notify tribes for them to come and. Now the interesting thing about this work and what really kind of bothers me about it is that there was a bleacher constructed in this spot.
Right.
So that was removed. We're not disturbing old ground really, so it had already been disturbed. I'm quite sure that when those original bleachers were built, there was no requirement to notify the tribes. But for this grant and for these purposes, apparently there was, so I was not aware of that. But anyway, so I'm hoping to get that done this week. And as long as they don't get too angry at us, we should get that reimbursement. Lastly, Pete Wyatt oversaw an online MSDS program. It's a great program, no issues with it. It gives everybody the opportunity not just to take care of MSDS at their work, but you could log onto this from home if you had an issue at home. It's just one of those perks that is part of it. But it requires a signing of a contract. It has for the last 5 years. It's an annual contract that's a part of the online safety program. It's time to renew that again. It's the final year of its 3-year contract, and the cost is $69,4465, so it's just under $7,000. Blair is taking over ownership of that as part of the risk and safety program. Does the board have it's below $10,000? Does the board have an issue with Blair signing that?
Do not.
Yeah, it's the online MSDS program. So I'll let them know. The something else we're doing is, so I paid for a government seat in a program called Perplexity AI. Have any of you heard of that? So Perplexity AI is an AI-based search engine. It is truly incredible. I don't care what you're searching for. The results that you get back are sourced. You have direct links to the sources where all the information is found. And it goes much deeper in depth on, I don't care what, pick something. Whether it's land use actions, whether it's legal actions, whether it's, MSDS stuff. I've been playing with it. I just can't believe how complete the search engine is. And I think, if it was cheaper, man, it would overtake Google probably in a year or two if it was marketed and people knew what it would do. So it's typically $400 per year per seat, and they have a government program that's 50% of that, so $200 per seat. And I've asked for that, and I'm trying to find out if I'll get it. Probably going to pay for at least 1 or 2 seats and do some more experimentation with it, and then maybe make it available to department heads and electeds. It's obvious that we couldn't do it. We couldn't make it, available on every desktop, because it would be, it'd be $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 a year. But I think from the standpoint of building efficiencies in your day-to-day and getting to the bottom of various issues that you're having, I think it's a huge tool. And if the board is interested in it, as soon as I get that letter back, I'm more than happy to get a seat for each one of you. There is a free version, but it doesn't go nearly as in depth. If you just go to perplexity.ai, do a search for that, you can try it now, but you only get so many searches a day with it. After that, it tells you.
Oh,
you
no,
need
I
to
could
have-
run out because you know how I like to search things for everybody when
Yeah.
I'm sitting here.
Yeah. Anyway, so with that, if it's okay, the last 10 minutes, I'd like to go into an executive session to talk about personnel disciplinary matters.
We'll be going into executive session at 8:50 until 9 a.m. for personnel disciplinary matters, RCW 42.30.1101F.
Can we? 8:59, that way we can come out and if there's any questions.
It's already announced.
Okay, all right.
It is 9 a.m. and we are out of executive session. Do we have any further questions for Tom?
I had more to go over, but I can do it another time, so.
Yeah, Tom, I think if you need one commissioner or all three.
Well, no, that's all right. You've got your, I don't want to. Yeah, why don't you come on in? If there's time at the end, maybe I can just go in.
You can take, I have one topic.
I was gonna ask you, since you're here, I tried calling you this morning, what your thoughts were so far on the HDL program.
I think it's great.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sure. So if it's okay with the board, I've got some more executive session stuff to do. If I could blob onto his time at the end when he's done.
We need to keep going in your time before we switch to his time.
Okay. Just about 5 more minutes.
Okay. For which item?
Personnel disciplinary.
Okay,
Am I
we're
the
going
chair?
to extend the
Feel bad.
central services update for 5 more minutes as we go into this executive session until 9:06 a.m. It is 9:06 a.m. We are out of executive session and we'll close the central services update.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you. Thanks.
It is 9:06 and we are going into the development services update with Jim Anderson.
Good
Great,
morning.
Jim.
I like that little binder you have there. I had one of those.
They were $1 at
I know,
Walmart.
that's
Or
where
isn't
I
that
got
for the
it.
school for English?
Piles of them. I know.
Are they thin line?
They are. They're college ruled.
Dang, that's
You
a
did-
college ruled, sorry.
You didn't buy the college ruled ones? I didn't see them at first.
Probably did it.
I had the regular ruled ones and then found the college ruled ones.
Still learning to spell my
I'll
name.
sell, I have extras, $2 a piece.
You're making a.
Good morning.
Morning.
Well, I spent all week last week at the Planning Directors Conference, so my update is very minimal, other than the staff didn't burn the building down, which I appreciated very much. However, most of them had COVID, but they survived and are back today, so that's good.
There's been a lot of that going around.
Yeah.
Sickness.
Yeah, it's been, in my department, it's been 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, so, but all is well. Fire marshal is on vacation, so I saw on the agenda outside that there's an update with the fire marshal that from 11:45 to 12, so you guys can have an extra 15 minutes for lunch.
So we are canceling that.
I'll-
Caitlin, did you catch that?
I'll allow it. I do have one very important thing to discuss, though, that is upcoming. So we have a public hearing scheduled for 3:30 on September 23rd for the board to consider a developer agreement for Quincy Valley Solar. And notification of that public hearing was posted today. And we've been working really hard on that developer agreement. I had no idea how deficient our current developer agreement was in comparison to the one that we've worked out now with our attorney. I think we're on page, I think it's 23 pages long now. But in any event, what it entails is it covers the mitigation. So in this particular case, they're mitigating for shrub step disturbance of 851 acres. But also your favorite topic, decommissioning and restoration, and then the financial assurances that are in and around the decommissioning and restoration. The important thing to note on this developer agreement is that it is a land use action that is subject to a LUPA appeal. So notice to all of the agencies is going out today, which also includes the Colville tribe. So upon execution of the developer agreement, we are also going to issue the mechanical permit for the solar development as well. That permit is also subject to appeal, and it's a LUPA, it's a land use petition, and that would have to be filed with Grant County Superior Court within 21 days of the issuance of the developer agreement and the issuance of the building permit. The reason that I bring that up is that, as you well know, I have been and the developer have been working with Colville over concerns that they have had in the buffering of what they are claiming to be a Native American burial ground, and they haven't gotten very far with them in that regard. So the developer has asked that we move forward and get the ball rolling on the developer agreement, which is what we're doing. So so on the 23rd, when we issue the mechanical permit and we execute the developer agreement, that's when that process will begin. So just wanted to make the board aware. I will have the DA done and to the clerk of the board the Thursday prior, if not sooner, should the board want to review it, if that's important. Now, the thing to know about a developer agreement is they're usually used for platting. And the best way to describe it is if any of you have ever really done like a planned unit development, it really sets the ground rules for the development, meaning that you can change the development regulations for that particular project because it's a contract. So as long as it's an allowed use inside of that zoning designation, all other rules of engagement are kind of off the table. They're negotiated inside of that agreement. So for example, in this particular case, if you think about the logistics of a solar development, you've got all of these contiguous parcels, and our code says that any development has setbacks. It has front yard setbacks, side yard setbacks, rear yard setbacks. Well, if you hold them to those setbacks, now you've got just a bunch of blocks, right? Well, when you enter into a developer agreement, you're allowed then by code to establish your own setbacks, which in this case, we waive side yard and rear yard setbacks. We maintain front yard setbacks to rights of way, side yard setbacks to the perimeter of the project, or in this case, extended setbacks to residences and things like that. So it acts, in a lot of ways like a planned unit development where you have, different heights and, and things like that. So anyway, any questions?
How many of the tribes are you having trouble with? Is it just the Spokane tribe?
I wouldn't.
Colville tribe?
It's Colville, and Commissioner Burgess, I wouldn't categorize it as trouble as much as this one was. This one was the very first one, and we learned a lot. So we have fortified a really strong relationship, and we have really strong protocol on how we review these going forward. We're never going to agree, but we now have we have a better process. The challenge, the true challenge is that we are required by the state to review these projects in a certain amount of time, because the development community has put pressure on the legislators to speed up the permitting process, rightfully so. They don't want these residential developments sitting in these municipalities languishing. And these type of projects fall under those same guidelines. So laws have been written that require me to work through this.
Sure.
Unfortunately, when when agencies like Colville have to also review, they have to review in a timely fashion. And when they don't have the resources to do it, things like this happen. So we have learned how to work through that and have them lay eyes on projects before they actually become an application to open up that window of review. Puts a lot of pressure and extra work on us,
Right.
you know, but it's to save all this. So in any event, notice has gone out today, so we'll keep you posted.
Funny, because I just had one of their employees move into one of my rentals
Oh,
for Quincy Valley Solar.
oh, did you?
She's here ready to go to work.
Yeah, they're here. Yep, they are here. And, you know, now let's, you know, fast forward to the what ifs, you know, so what if there is an appeal? Then there would have to be an injunction. I mean, there's so many things that if you really look at the RCW in and around the appeal, there's a lot of things would have to happen in order for that to actually take hold. So, but you know, depending on how closely you pay attention to like FSEC and things. I mean, recently, last week, 2 weeks ago, you know, Governor Ferguson, you know, kicked a project back to allow for additional review time for Yakima Nation of a solar project for FSEC. So they're not just rubber stamping these things anymore. However, the additional review time that he allowed them to have was 30 days. So it's like, okay, here's some additional consideration time, but that time's 30 days. And so, but yeah, they are chomping at the bit. So I'll keep you posted. More to come. So, and that's all I really had, other than I gotta go get dug out of all my emails from last week.
Cool. Thank you, Jim.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jim.
We'll go into it. Did you have a question?
No, it was
Okay,
just.
we'll go into a recess until 9:30 when we're back with the Commissioner's Office update.
Jim, blend biotic fertilizer.
Good morning, it's 9:30 a.m. and we're here for a Commissioner's Office update.
Good morning, commissioners.
Hi, Barb.
Hello.
Hi, Caitlin.
Hello. First thing, pending decision spreadsheet. I did email you the newest copy of that. What I added to it was the prosecuting attorney's office contracts in review. So that might remind you if you wanted to talk to them about that. And I believe you have been forwarded the recent list of what they have for the commissioners' direct reports. So you should have that in your email. Do you have any questions about that? Yeah. Okay, next one is review of upcoming public hearings. We don't have any this week, but you do have a bunch on the 23rd. I know that Jim talked to you about one this morning, and then you have the speed limit one on the 23rd.
And
That's
they're
a
gonna
ways
give
back.
us a speed limit meeting before that.
There is some stuff, I think, on their update. Nope, sorry, that's 2022 speed study. I don't know if that 2022 speed study is related, but
I know they talked about it last week, and there's been emails to you
Yeah,
about
Barb
it.
sent us an email Friday.
That must be what I saw.
May I see that for just a second? Thank you.
Maybe that's the last speed study they have. I don't know. In that area.
Hey, you're funny.
Something I was going to say.
But we need to make a decision ASAP because they need to strike the road.
I have kind of, well, my question is, when they do those speed studies, the speed study is based on the current speed limit. So I don't understand how that correlates with a change in speed limits. Because obviously everybody that's driving down those roads is gonna follow the speed limit that's posted.
Not necessarily. They drive at their comfort, so.
So 85% of them are speeding at 55 miles an hour, 50 miles an hour. So if you change the speed limit to 35 miles an hour, do you think that 85% of them are still gonna go 50 or 55?
No, I think that's why, that Brent said, you've got to change the design of in the road so that, and encourages people to do the speed limit.
Right, but it seems like that was their reasoning for not changing the speed limits is because 85 percentile going that speed. So I'm confused as to why that would make any difference if you change the speed limit to a slower speed limit. I mean,
If 85th percentile is going above this, well, if they're going 40 or higher, then they wouldn't go under 40. They would set it at the 40. And if they were 85% are going 45 and the road was 35, they are more likely to increase the speed limit to 45.
But I think with this, we need to make, do things to the road so that whether it's speed bumps or chicanes or something, so that it encourages the driver to slow down. So they know that everybody wants to do a certain speed. And if it's higher than what should be, if you can't raise it to the,
What is the speed limit currently?
out in May Valley, it's 50, 55.
See, I would like to see it lowered to 35, and then if you wanted to then do the improvements, and then if at that point,
I would agree. I think from the frontage road, Road E, and all of Road E, all the way down to 5, and circle back around.
and roadie is where they had the fatality, right?
Yeah, we've had, my brother-in-law lives on Road E, and he's always complaining about people going 80
Yeah.
miles an hour.
So that's something we do need to look at. You visited with somebody last week and
I've had a lot of other people complain about people speeding out in the May Valley area. I think change the speed limit. Got to train people to slow down, otherwise they're just gonna go as fast as they want. The speed limit's 35, maybe they'll go 50, but now it's 50 and they're doing 70 and 75.
And I made a little note on tomorrow to talk to Public Works about that.
Plus, I think that if people see that we're making some changes on those speed limits so that we don't have fatalities, I think that's a step in the right direction.
yeah, we just need to make sure that Public Works, any relatable type of road area, they do the same changes in those areas.
Yeah, I just don't know of any other places like that. I mean, you got the 2 golf courses in that same area.
I'm lower because of commerce.
And there's a lot of development going on out there, a lot more people moving out there, so.
Okay,
Same with Potato Hill.
review of this week's meetings. The only one that I could say I wanted to point out was tomorrow is your tour at the museum, and they're very excited for the 3 of you to be there.
What time is that at?
3 to 5.
I knew I had something on my calendar that I was not planning for Tuesday. Yeah, is that
Tomorrow.
Tuesday? It's my dad's birthday tomorrow. Turns 70.
That's nice.
You're gonna interrupt the party, Barb.
Party doesn't start at 5?
He's 70.
Yeah, I know.
Just kidding.
I get that. Okay, anything else on the calendar that you have any questions about? Okay, calendar invitations, Miss Caitlin?
It's an October Traffic Safety Coalition meeting, if anybody is interested in attending that. It's on the October 29th from noon to 1.
Where's that?
You know, it's a great question. Could not tell you. I forwarded you guys the email. I can find out.
Okay, while you're looking at that, on-call mailroom clerk, Laura, who has been an on-call, has put in her resignation. So we will be down to one on-call mail clerk. And so I want to know the boards, what would you like me to do? Would you like to work on advertising for another on-call mailroom clerk?
Well, I think we need to, so I did forward that to, excuse me, HR, so they are aware, so I'm sure they'll bring it to us this week. And then are we still requiring the mailroom person to come in once a month? That's why we got rid of, I think, 2 of them a couple of years ago.
I'm not following, I apologize.
Oh, they had to come in
for their, so
Yes.
they stay current.
once a month. I mean, whether,
Twice a month, they do,
okay,
yes. So both of them were coming in twice a month, yes.
okay.
Thank you for the, I wasn't
And that
following.
was a requirement, because I think on one of them, it was during some summer months, and so,
Yeah, so both of them, Laura and Sally, have been doing really good at coming in twice a month. Yeah. So now Sally will be the only one.
okay.
Just FYI for the commissioners, the lodging tax grant applications opened at 9 a.m. this morning. They'll be open until October 6th at 5 p.m. So just so you guys are aware. And then the Board of Equalization, now that one of the alternates was promoted to primary, they have only one alternate member. Are the commissioners okay with us advertising to try to fill that second alternate position?
I thought we reduced the alternate. We reduced it to 2, from 3 to 2.
Yes, we only have one alternate right now.
Down to one.
And we're done in like a month.
So for the 2025 hearings, yes, you're done in a month, and then probably 1 to 2 months after that, we're gonna have to start the 2026 process, whenever Missy certifies
But it
the
won't be
role.
until, will we start in 2026?
No, we would have to start, you have to have 3 meetings within, what, 30 days of the certification of the assessment role?
Okay.
14 days.
14 days, that's it. So we'd have to start within 2 weeks of that certification, which Missy had said she's looking at October, November.
Okay, so when does their term expire? This month?
Jim and Marge's term expires this month. They're current, that's the chair and the vice chair right now. And then it's a 3-year term, so Jerry and Rosa's terms don't expire until 2028. But then you only have the one alternate, which is Rosa.
Mm-hmm.
And the DOR training isn't until
June.
May, yeah, June, for any new members. But from what I gather, it takes a bit to find people interested in the board, so just checking to see if the commissioners are fine with us advertising for that open position.
Yeah, I think we need to. I mean, the other Rosa's been out, so. Have another backup person.
Yeah, I concur.
Okay, I'll get that posted sometime this week.
Before you start on tourism, can I
Yes.
throw a couple things out there?
Yes.
Just to confirm, so Mandy sent you guys an email about the state auditor's office entrance meeting. You do not want to participate, is that correct?
What date is it?
September 16th at 10 a.m. So she scheduled it on a Tuesday. She said after she had heard that you guys do not want to participate. So I realize you already told her that, but I'm just confirming because you've always historically gone to all the state auditor meetings, but the things change, so you guys do not want to attend these entrance meetings.
I thought that we were, but guess I'm confused, but.
I would think that somebody should be there.
And she stated that the board had no interest in attending the entrance meetings. That's what she told the state auditor.
Yeah, state auditor had emailed me. I think I had confirmed.
Because if it's during your normal Tuesday meeting, so if we have a quorum,
I didn't know what the
everything
date
has
was.
to change. So I'm assuming you guys told her that, that's what she had stated, so.
I don't recall, so I can't say.
Okay. So we can work on changing the makeup and the time of the meetings if
What's
you,
at 10 a.m. on that date?
HR update and Grant County audit conference entrance.
What date is it?
it's a Tuesday.
Tuesday.
And if we have a quorum there, then it changes how they advertise and we'll have to make it our Zoom. Because right now it's
I
sent
think we
out.
could probably, I think it would be safe to send one commissioner. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. One
Yeah, I
commissioner
agree.
to it.
Okay. Which one of you guys like to go?
I'll do it.
Okay.
It's my chair.
Okay.
I've already had pre-conversations with them like 3 times.
Okay, we will add you to that. The golf cart zone over there for the Moses Point people, they're talking about the RCW stating that the county can require a decal on the golf carts. Do you recall if that's something that Grant County has made a requirement for?
Yes, we did. We used to.
They don't even have a
Sure.
permit anymore, right?
The sheriff wanted to, so it was a decal. They had to have an inspection. It was like $30-$40. The sheriff's office would go down and inspect them, and then it was just an annual. But the sheriff's office was doing it, it ended up being very labor intensive. So they dropped that, so it's no longer required.
No longer required? Okay. I will let him know that.
But I don't know if our code has changed that. I don't know if it's in a code.
Yeah, they have the code in the email. But I remember that they had made the request a few years ago to take away that.
I'll ask Joey if that has been
So
changed.
that copy was a request from me, because I wanted to know how they're gonna handle the golf carts within their development. Are they gonna police it, or are they gonna expect us to police it? Are they gonna have rules for it?
There's already state rules on that, kind of like driving a vehicle, you have to be 16, so if an officer were to drive up and there was a 16-year-old, they would get a ticket. It has to have seat belts, mirrors. There's a couple things that it has to have. It might be a third. Seat belts, mirrors, rearview mirror. Blinker, you have to have a blinker.
So is that something we could have set up with like maybe a shop in town where they could take them to a different shop, so we didn't have the sheriff's department doing it and they could charge a fee?
Oh, well, I think if they just, we could, it just, on that inspection, not everybody could, they did it at Sunland Estates. Joy said it basically took all day to do that inspection, then you have people that didn't make it, so you had to schedule it. But let's visit with Joey about that. But I don't think it's, since it's a state law, it's kind of like we don't inspect all vehicles on the roadway. So it's kind of like, if you get pulled over for a
If they're
ticket,
not in compliance, then they get a ticket.
or a warning, sometimes, I think they usually try to do the warning.
We could ask him to add that to his next agenda with you.
Tomorrow.
Is it tomorrow? Okay.
Yeah, I'll take a look at it here.
And last, before we could move on here, so I know that the board held the health district's appointment for their position open. I had let Teresa know that you had voted to hold it one more week, and her response, all I have is, I have a few more contacts to reach out to get additional applicants who meet the qualifications for that seat. I'm assuming you would know what she's talking about, so, okay. Just want to let you know that she
And I
had
did
said
reach
that.
out to Teresa.
I have one more thing before tourism. The Kids Hope reaccreditation meeting on October 16th, Susie's accreditors reached out asking if they could move the commissioner's time to 2:30, so it'd be 2:30 to 3 instead of 3 to 3:30. There's nothing on the calendar right now at that time. I just wanted to check with the commissioners, make sure that is good for you guys.
Looks like it'll work. So 2:30?
Yes. I'll get it updated on the calendar once we know.
I'm okay with that. yeah.
Okay.
I should be around.
Okay,
Hopefully.
okay, I'll get it updated. Tourism committee update. You have, the invoices are on consent this week for Rochelle. I think that's actually the only, I don't know why I put consent items plural. Oh, because you have the recommendation of the top proposer for the tourism travel planner publisher. That's also on consent this week. Coming soon will be amendments to the Cooley Creative contract and the Westwind Media contract to include the sales tax requirements. Legal gave me some verbiage for it. Their advice was basically just have the monthly retainer and then have each entity bill the additional tax. And tourism had said that they were fine with that because there's wiggle room in their budget for that. So those will be coming to you guys soon for your final decision. The final amendments are up with legal right now. So I hope to have them on consent within the next week or two, since that requirement starts on October 1st. We did not have a quorum for the last little bit of tourism's meeting on Wednesday, so they have a couple more things that they need to vote on still. They're gonna have a special meeting this Friday on Zoom, just so they can vote on those last two things. One of them will be a recommendation of appointment for a District 3 representative. There's only one applicant, so they'll review his qualifications and maybe have a recommendation for the commissioners next week. And then the other thing they needed to decide on was they just need to finalize their 2026 preliminary budget so they can fill out their LTAC grant. But their next tourism meeting is like 3 business days before the LTAC grant applications close, which is why they're wanting to have the special meeting this week to have the entire time to fill out the grant application. And then the last little bit that I wanted to ask the commissioners if we could have a quick executive session, just 10 minutes for job applicant evaluation.
You want 10 minutes?
Yes, please.
Okay, we will go into executive session at 9:50 a.m., returning at 10 a.m. for job applicant / evaluation, RCW 42.30.1101G. Let's put one of them on. We are now out of executive session. It is 10 a.m. And we will have an accounting update.
Don't laugh, Barb.
Oh, she's out there.
Good morning.
Good morning. It is 10:01 a.m. and we are here for an accounting update.
All things in accounting are going well. Hey, I have my new accountant here. I wanted
Hello.
to introduce her.
Nice to meet you.
She is also named Amanda, but she goes by Amanda, so hopefully there won't be confusion.
Mandy and Amanda.
Yes, I am a Mandy. She's an Amanda. I brought her down so she can see how government works. No, she actually has prior experience. She worked at the City of George and City of Soap Lake previously, and so we're excited to utilize that past knowledge.
Welcome.
Should I shut the door?
What?
Should I shut the door?
I don't think it needs to be shut for any
So if
reason.
somebody walks by and they're talking, that's all we hear.
Maybe they're saying something I want to hear. So, as most of our updates go, Tyler. We actually don't have any significant Tyler meetings going on this week. We are putting a hold on the HRM until we can get the payroll administrator position filled. So we won't be running any more parallels until we have that position up and running. We are not changing anything with our go live for finance. It's still October 1st. Training has been going well, and I have some stats to update you. One moment while I pull that up.
You're a Royal City native?
I am.
Okay.
That's her district.
Oh.
Yeah, I live in Royal City.
So as far as training goes, we have done training on AP and P cards with approximately 30 departments. We have scheduled, that is still remaining, 19, and 3 that we're working on getting scheduled. But we should know by the end of the day what days they want to do. So we should be booked to have all of our trainings for all of our departments done before September 30th. And I think that puts us at about a 52% completion rate thus far with 2 weeks left. Things are going pretty good. We're noticing some similar issues with the way that data users have been set up, but that is an us issue, not a Tyler issue. I just need to sit down and go through and scrub it and make sure that everyone has the appropriate access to each fund or department that they're working in. And I think that's been the biggest issue that we've had. So once we get that fixed, we should be A-okay. We are also waiting on the P card template from Tyler for the credit cards that we'll be running. He should have that to me hopefully today, and then we can start demonstrating what that's gonna look like, but it's gonna be a way easier process, so. We got our ready form that we approved and looks good to go. So it had the 9 hard-coded in front of it and fulfills the treasurer's requirements of 10 digits in the warrant number. So that looks good. Right now, the cost, we had a couple of different options that we could select on using contingency or not using contingency. We still have quite a bit available to use. And if we just use contingency to make up for everything, we're not looking at any additional cost. If something happens from this point until we go live and we have to do additional work or Tyler has to do additional work, then at that point we may go above and beyond what we were initially budgeted and contracted to do. But even with all the changes we made, we're just getting started into dipping into contingency. So that's really great, I think. And I guess that's why they have contingency for these types of things to happen. But we seem to have had a lot of changes and challenges to overcome. As far as financial reports, we still don't have July's done. It was an issue with the import file. Again, it was a settings issue with GP. It keeps erasing my settings so that I don't have the ability to import the files into Great Plains. Phil doesn't know, he's our contact at ASI, why this is happening, but is what it is. And each time that it happens, I have to contact him, have him fix my settings, then re-upload the files. I've got them imported now for July. I'm just done our reconciliation, and there's a few items I need to figure out what they are between our office and the treasurer. And once that's done, then I can publish the reports for July and get ready to do the August ones as well. But if you need any interim figures, I could provide that as well. I didn't have anything pre-made this morning. I was hoping to get that reconciliation done, but as I'm training Amanda to show her that how to do it, but we got stuck on a large variance and finally figured it out like 5 minutes before we're supposed to come down here.
Oh, and here you are. You're like,
Yeah.
ready to get back up there and fix that problem.
Yes, exactly. I don't think there's anything else. Michelle is working diligently to get salary information up to date for the budget. That's the holdup on the budget call right now. We are anticipating doing it in Tyler, and we're covered for all of the basic categories, goods and services, professional services. It will import the previous year's data up to 2023, I think is the furthest back it'll go. We just don't have a way for it to project salaries and wages as exactly as we would like. We could use last year's numbers and add 10% if we wanted to just be very broad about it and still use Tyler. But we want to be closer than that on what we're actually going to be expending on salaries and wages and benefits. So Michelle is working to get that together and be able to provide that to the departments. The other part is also just maybe we just request the departments do it for themselves I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I would prefer not, because we have some departments that will say it was in the budget. I put a 6% increase or a 10% increase, it's in the budget, it was approved, I'm gonna do that. And once we approve it, so I have lost my faith
Gotcha.
in departments doing their own increase because it has come back to bite us.
Gotcha. And so, and the other part is we can go out to call
And
with,
that's just me,
I agree.
so I think I would like if it's gonna be a 3% increase or whatever we're gonna do, it's gonna be for everybody. And if there's a department that comes and asks you to, a department or office that asks you to put a larger percentage in there, I would ask that you refer it
Hard
to the
no.
commissioners, and it's a hard no. Hard no.
gotcha. I've been instructed not to do any increases. So the estimate is based off of last year's numbers with any changes in staff and longevity only,
That would be perfect.
no COLAs.
That'd be perfect.
So, with Michelle doing that piece, I don't know how long that will take. It's a long time. It's a lot of data to go through. And so we can always do the call with the caveat being this is to come later. And the expectation is to build a draft based off of last year's budget numbers. I don't know. But that is the only thing holding up
Okay.
the call.
Yeah.
And we obviously we don't want to give a hard date for deadlines, but we do know that we need to have everything drafted and for us to present to you by the November 4th.
Well, and people are asking for, they haven't received, because typically we do it in October, not November. Would you like our office to send out a letter stating that you will be getting a budget call, your budget shortly, and the dates will be in November? Do you want to do that? Do you want our office to do that?
I can do it, and I just want to make sure that if you guys are comfortable with the budget call not including or leaving out the salaries to come later, to
The salary increase.
the
Yeah.
salary increases,
And I think that
changes.
would be the safest. We've been told not to put, even if we think it's gonna be like a 2.5%, don't put that in until we know for sure, for everybody else outside of the unions. So I'm
And
totally fine not doing an increase, because I have no idea what the 2026 increase should be or what it's looking like.
gotcha. And the other piece is those who haven't gotten the training yet won't know how to do their piece, but it's not available in Tyler quite yet either. But they always have access to 2025s to go look and start considering what they want their numbers to be. And if,
Okay, how do we want to deal with insurance? Because there's a big chunk of it that we pay out of miscellaneous general government. Do we want to divide that? I think it was 2 million out, divided into, I'm trying to think what our increase was.
it was 19%.
Yeah, but I think this year we have,
It
We
was
received-
2.3 not in the budget last year.
so that 2.3 needs to be divided up. It's gonna be a huge hit, so everybody's gonna be,
Feeling.
that's, when we took it out of miscellaneous general government, we never assigned it to.
Mm-hmm.
So we
And
need to do that, and then, Caitlin, can you see if Blair can jump on? I wouldn't say we're 16% increase this year. Maybe it's 12.
Like
We're
30%
we're
from.
actually gonna have a huge increase with the new jail coming on board.
Oh, yeah, but that, how will they?
Blair says he's coming down for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, 4 minutes left.
So that insurance was a kind of a killer.
I don't have access to.
I assume the sheriff's office will get to pay for that insurance.
I would assume, but they don't have income either, so.
Not to start renting some jail space.
Renting some tickets. No, please don't.
Scott, you can join us. You can come in.
Oh, Blair?
Hey,
Bring Blair.
well,
Do you
sure.
remember what the insurance increase was? Was it 12 or 16?
They haven't given us the direct numbers yet.
Yeah, but they kind of threw out a soft number.
It was between 8 and, I can find out. I can make a call and get the numbers. We'll know in a week or two.
Yeah.
Retreat. They'll let us know the numbers. But I left my phone upstairs.
No, that's totally fine. I couldn't remember, so I'm just,
If we type it in the email, I can pull it up.
okay.
And then I think it was 8 to 15. It's looking pretty good right now, but we'll know.
So man, if we do a 50%, everybody will be freaking out, but that might be the closest.
Do we know if the jail is included in that?
No, it's not.
The new jail,
New jail's
absolutely,
not in
nope, that is gonna be, well, the
That's gonna
value
hit
of it
us.
is gonna be, it's gonna increase
That's gonna hit us, yeah.
really hard, like several million.
Yeah.
But that will be going to the jail, not,
Are we using some of the sales and use tax for that?
we should.
Okay.
Current expense can't afford it.
I don't think the use tax was calculated to be used for that originally though, so it'll dwindle it down quicker.
Well, it's gotta come
Yeah,
somewhere,
yeah, it's gonna have to be figured out.
and it cannot come out of, yeah, there's some funds that we. That was my question. Thanks,
Yeah.
Blair.
Yep.
Jen.
Because that right there is, we'll have to figure out what the cost of that building is gonna be, because WCRG's max is 100 million for a
Wow.
building.
We know it's over 100 million,
Well,
but we may have to do
built.
some supplemental.
It'd have to be a total loss though, to be.
Well, that's everything, but each building can be different. So the jail alone, it may just be right at 100 million, and then other buildings maybe exceed. But the one building alone may be fine. So we'll find out.
Hard to burn concrete, but
It'd
happen.
blow up.
Yeah.
You have
I
to
guess
blow
a
up
lot.
the entire thing. So I think that'll be.
Let's knock on wood and hope that never happens.
No, I,
okay, so do we want to do a guess on there or wait another week or two and then get a harder number? Mandy, what would you like?
I will do whatever you guys instruct me to do.
Let's wait a week.
I'm working on renewal right now with
Okay.
Shane.
Okay, wait a week. We don't always get a number. We get a kind of a soft number. It's pretty accurate usually.
Hopefully it drops. It's usually they go high and then it drops a little
Well,
bit.
sometimes they've gone high and then it's gone even higher. So we'll wait on the insurance, but I know we do need to calculate that $2+ million into each.
And I have a worksheet with that.
Okay, so there'll be some panic, so we'll need to put that in. That letter, because
what was last year's amount? 5.3, 5.1, 6.1?
I thought it was 5.
The total, 5.3, 5.
Yeah,
5.3.
So it's gonna be like 6 million this year.
and with the jail.
Well, no, it's probably gonna be like 9 million.
Well, with the jail.
With the
It's
jail,
gonna be-
we can, I guess we can see if we can get a soft number with the jail.
Probably need to.
Be good to budget it in.
Yeah,
Or
okay.
else we'll spend money we don't have.
I'll see if I can get soft numbers for the jail.
Okay.
Did you get my email about numbers I need?
For what?
Insurance? I sent it last week for renewal.
Scott, sorry, we're going over, we're a minute into your time.
No, I haven't looked at it yet. I am behind on stuff, but I will take a look and get back to you.
Okay, I need it as soon as possible.
Okay.
Blair. Thanks,
you, Blair.
Mandy. Thanks,
Anything else you want
Amanda.
from us?
Welcome
Thank you.
aboard.
It was nice meeting you
Me
guys.
too.
Thank you, Amanda, it was good meeting you. I know we probably, what's your maiden name?
Reynolds.
Okay. Okay. Your mom was a bus driver?
Huh?
Was your mom a bus driver?
No, my dad was actually a farmer out there. My
Okay, I'm
mom.
gonna track you down here soon.
Farmer
Okay.
in Royal City that you don't know?
I know, that's where I'm like, oh, I'm gonna know and
Okay.
okay, thank you.
Good morning, it's 10:17 a.m. and we are here for a youth services update with Scott Holz.
Good morning. I only have a little bit. We currently have 7 juveniles in custody at Chelan.
Any new ones? or
We
those
did
all-
have, we had 2 juveniles brought in late last week who are being held in regards to that a murder case.
What's that now?
And are being held in custody. And then we had a 3rd suspect over the weekend involved in that same matter brought in. So 3 new ones, so I'll say from the weekend.
What ages were they?
The 2 brought in first were 16
and are going through the adult Superior Court system. And this third young man, who is 16 at the time, he just turned 16, so he will be initially charged in the juvenile court, and then they'll go through the processes. So, and do a declination hearing, I'm assuming, to adult, but that's a different process. So a little bit busy this morning, but we don't have a big court docket, so I can't say it's extremely busy for me.
Get water yet?
Yes, we did. Luckily enough, I believe it was Wednesday, we started getting water, so we could no longer had to use the porta potties. And then on Thursday, we were finally notified that we were able to start being able to drink the water too. So we're back at normal thankfully. So, but it was nice having the porta potties brought up so timely last Monday, so. That's all I have, unless you have any questions.
I'm just glad that didn't happen in the wintertime.
We did have that discussion, a few of us, what would be worse, the summer or winter?
I don't know.
I
think the
said winter.
summer- I almost think the summer
Yeah,
with the fly, it's just, summer's not good.
yeah, so that discussion did happen.
Well, just all around, not a fun experience.
No.
Can you imagine if you had 6 or 8 inches of snow on the ground or a foot of snow on the ground?
Yeah, it was
That
tough, but it worked out. I think overall things went pretty smoothly and it worked out okay, so. That's all I have.
Any questions for Scott?
Yeah, no, thank you, Scott, for joining us.
All right,
Thanks for
thank
coming
you.
down.
All right, have a great rest of the day.
We will go into recess until 10:30 when we're back with Renew. Good morning, it is 10:31 a.m. and we are here for a Renew update with Juan Padilla.
Welcome, Juan.
He's not quite with us yet.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yep, welcome.
Welcome, yes, thank you. So a quick update on the capital projects for the Moses Lake's new roof. The bid process has been completed for this project. In our 2025 capital budget, we budgeted $100,000 for this project. This was more of a placeholder that we had for that. And however, the bid came higher than what was budgeted. So the bids range from anywhere from 138,337.80 to $424,235. We could not accept the lowest bid due to an insufficient package, lacking required documents, and didn't include the completed project. So that individual didn't show up on the walkthrough, I believe it was, and they turned in the bid late. So, which eliminated them. The next lowest bid was $243,148.50. This met all the requirements, and we have chosen to go with them. While this exceeds the capital line item for new Moses Lake roof, we will not exceed the overall capital project's cost for the year. Due to the cost of the project, the contract will be reviewed by legal and then signed by hopefully you guys, BOCC. So we wanted to provide you with the background on what has occurred with that project. Any questions on that? All right. So, so on this week's consent agenda, we have a request for a computer equipment purchase. This was coordinated with GCTS, and all but 2 of the laptops will be funded by the Renew Computer Replacement Fund. The 2 laptops will come from the Renew 108 funds. And that is all I have for you guys. Any questions? I'll try to answer them.
I don't have any questions, other than I wish that roof was a little cheaper, but
I know. And I think if the individual would have done the walkthrough I don't know what the outcome of that bid would have been, but
Is this a local company or?
I'm not sure. Let me see. It is Triton. I don't know if they're local or not. I just know the name is Triton.
I'll Google it here. Yeah, when I'm pulling up Triton, it's coming up in Virginia Beach.
Oh, okay.
So I'm looking for something closer. Yep, no, I'm not seeing anything close by. But it's my weak Google search. Okay, I have no other questions. Thanks for joining us, Juan.
Yeah, nice seeing you guys again.
All right, thank you, Juan.
Yep, thank you. Bye-bye.
We'll
Bye.
go into recess until 10:45 when we are back for a fairgrounds update. Good morning, it's 10:45 a.m. and we are here with Jim McKiernan for a fairgrounds update.
Hello.
Hello, Jim.
How are all of you?
Great.
Great, how are you doing?
You feel
Good.
old?
Other than I think I'm getting another sinus infection, but that's just part of the course this time of year.
Sounds like it.
Let's see. Um, Budgets, obviously, that'll be the big one coming up here is understanding what we have for capital. I know Tom's probably gonna continue to question whether we or bring up the matching funds grant for the lighting project in along the green parking lot fence, 5 towers. It's a $225,000 matching amount. It's a $450,000 project. It's a very dark area. It's a health and safety grant through the WSDA. I have the paperwork ready to go. We just need authorization to that we can put in $225,000 into capital for 2026. The deadline for the grant is, I believe it's the 21st of September. So we've got another week before we have to decide. Let's see. Staffing, we've got one seasonal left at this point, Logan, and we'll keep him through Flannel Fest, which is about a month away. Ticket sales for Flannel Fest are strong. We're a little over $30,000 in ticket sales at this point, which is good. That's about $5,000 to $6,000 higher than last year at this time. So we're working on LTAC. I am working on LTAC funding right now, turning in my expenditure reports for the fair to the city of Moses Lake, and then I'll turn in the one to the county. And we will be turning in for Fair, Flannel Fest, and Moravita coming up. And that's pretty much it. We're in full flannel. Well, I can't say that fast 3 times. Full Flannel Fest planning. And so we should be in pretty good shape for that. And then the last piece is our new food booth is nearly complete. We have a couple little pieces left. I might pick your brain, Rob, a little bit when we get closer so that we can understand kind of the logistics of layout and ease of use. It's pretty tight space once you got all the equipment in there, but it definitely is it's going to be a nice booth. We just got to figure out how we're going to manage that. I'm kind of half thinking of hiring a nonprofit at a flat rate and see if that works. I do speak to the Lioness next Monday to talk to them about possibly moving to the Eagles booth. That would be a 2-year renovation, so they wouldn't actually be in there until the fair of 2027. And then we would tear down the 2 booths that they're currently using, which are right near the red gate, and put in either grass or some cement pads, maybe with a small pergola with tables underneath it. Just long-term thinking. But they're very open to the idea of moving finally, so I'm going to speak to their group a week from today. Keep your fingers crossed.
What item do you plan to sell in your booth?
Smash, we're gonna do smash tacos, fries, and a drink. It's gonna be a very simple menu. I think we can do it. I'll have the food costs, but I believe our food costs are gonna be such that we could probably sell it for $12 or $13 for all three of those. Smash taco, fries, and a drink.
And this is for the fair or?
Yep. Yeah, it's the old Azars booth that you guys approved us to renovate.
You don't think that's a conflict, competing against our own vendors?
Well, I think it's still going to be a nonprofit that's going to end up running it, but it just would be a flat fee rather than, so the nonprofit's still going to benefit. I don't think so. A lot of fairgrounds have booths of their own. In fact, I was at Spokane County Fair. I've got a picture next to Rob's. Was it the shaved ice or the lemonade? I can't remember.
Shave ice.
Shaved ice. I got a picture there next to Rob's booth, and then I was at Chelan County Fair last week and got a picture next to his booth there. Of course, he was not there at either one. I don't know where he was, but
And another one.
I did hear from Pat Davis. Got to spend some time with Pat last week. He did say that Ben Franklin, when he was down a little bit, and so was Walla Walla. So it's kind of a trend, and he attributes it to immigration concerns. Hispanic families not coming out in to the fairs, and so we'll see how that went in Chelan. I know Chelan was over yesterday, Rob.
Yeah.
So
Well,
we should.
Say, just a minute, Jim, I'm gonna jump in. Immigration may be a part of it. Another part of it is our lovely state of Washington. Overtime now is at 40 hours, so most farmers, because of just ag in general, they are cutting the hours back to about 40 for every employee, and this is probably the first that they've had a hard cut to 40 hours. And it's really difficult. So I think that is a large component of it as well.
Yep, I agree. I think you're dead on, Cindy, because I think people just didn't have as much disposable income this year either. So as we start planning for 2026, I think we're going to be a little more conservative in our entertainment budget. Try a couple different things. We have our first FAC debrief on Thursday, where we'll talk about entertainment, vendors, contracted services, kind of go through a debrief with the Fair Advisory Committee. And thank you for appointing Jordan. I actually asked one other person. She has not responded yet, but she's a brand new ag teacher at Quincy. And her name is, her last name is or her first name is Kendall. So I'm going to see if she wants to be on our Fair Advisory Committee. She'd be really good.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah. Anything else? That's pretty much it. We're waiting. Oh, the only other thing I had was we're waiting for Lori to get approved to go to the Advanced Footing Academy. I flipped a coin. Well, Shayla flipped a coin between Ken and Lori because I can't really afford to send both. So Lori won. So I sent her application in for the Advanced Footing Academy, and I'm just waiting for them to tell me yay or nay, and then she can book her travel. That's in January. That's all I got.
Hey, how was your birthday?
It was good. If you've never been to a concert at the Spokane Tribe Casino, it's a great venue. It's very small and intimate. It was an amazing concert. Donnie Barnes is still the lead singer of 38 Special, and he sounds amazing. Same guy that was there. I mean, we saw him 30 years ago at, what's that one in Tacoma? Oh, it might have been 35 years ago. And they sounded amazing then, but they still sounded good. Yeah, if you ever get a chance to go to a concert there, you should take your wife to see Brett Michaels there, Kevin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll make a
That's a
motion.
great menu. And I won $9 while I was at the casino, so that was good too. I was up $9.
Jim, have you reached out to the service, I'm still back to the nonprofit for the fair, having a food booth. Have you reached out to any nonprofits asking if they wanted to do like the smash tacos and the drinks and the fries? I just feel like we'd be competing against.
I have not yet, just because I want to make sure that it's good to go before I try to get somebody in there. And honestly, they could cook anything they wanted, but we are trying to come up with something that's slightly less expensive. Our biggest complaint that we hear at fair is that food prices have gotten out of control. And I understand that food costs have gone up, but um, we're trying to find a way to drive some pricing down and maybe make things a little bit more competitive.
Okay, so would you be paying the 20% or the 15%?
We would pay a flat fee to a nonprofit potentially, but we haven't really thought that far ahead.
But I mean, I guess if you wanted your food vendors, I'm just gonna throw this out there, to charge less, reduce what we're charging them. And then that would be a 20% savings. But I just don't wanna be competing if we're putting a booth in, we're not paying our 15 or 20%. I just feel like we're kind of cutting corners, but we're expecting others to pay a fee on the food.
Well, there will be a fee paid to us. It just may be more than the normal fee because we wouldn't pay. In other words, we'd pay a nonprofit a flat fee to operate the booth, since we have an investment of over $100,000 in that booth. We would pay a nonprofit a flat fee to run the booth, so they would still get revenue from that, and then we would get the remainder. The fair would. I don't know that dropping our percentages is the answer either, Cindy. I don't think it
No, I'm
would.
not saying that, but it just sounds like we're kind of, I just don't fully understand. It sounds like we're kind of sneaking in, yet government is, it just doesn't look right. Yeah, I would love to pay less for food, but for the Grant County Fair to have a food booth, that we are going to be competing against those that we're inviting to compete, whether it's a nonprofit or a commercial, so that we can reduce the prices at the expense of basically it would be funded by the taxpayers,
Yep.
undercut those already paying. I do have
Yeah.
some concerns.
I
Just-
totally understand, and we can continue to
Right.
talk
But-
about it. It's a nice
I'm
booth.
not a food vendor. I just sort of throw that out there. It just seems, and I would love to pay less. I just feel like we are,
well, we don't really get to control what they charge, do we?
No.
Yeah, you can put caps on it. Here's the thing,
I mean,
like, I don't get complaints of my things that make me money, right? Like,
Right.
people complain about my high margin item prices. What do they complain about? My turkey leg price, right? I'm not making any money on a turkey leg. I make money on that $12 frozen lemonade that your whole family just bought 4 of. You know, that's
Right.
what you can't really put a lot into the public's opinion of pricing. Like, Piggly sells turkey legs at $31, right? So don't book a vendor that charges $31. I don't know, but some things they cost what they cost. Now, quesadilla pizza for $30, maybe not, but I saw a lot of them. But people don't complain about $7 cotton candy, even though it costs you 35 cents. They complain about the items that cost a lot of money to put out.
Right. Yep.
So it's not
No,
really a big fix the pricing. Like a corn dog, is the way that it's done at Grant County Fair is 55 cents. They charge $10.
Right.
Turkey leg, the cost on the turkey leg is $6 to $7. You sell it for 17, you pay the fair 20%, you pay sales tax 10%, and then almost every employee is getting over $20 an hour. So
Yep.
there is no affordable option.
No. They did sue, at Spokane, there was a food booth Saturday that they had a $5 meal option. And
Well, they have a $5 menu.
a $5 what?
It's a $5 menu.
Yeah, $5 menu. Yes. And I think it was something simple like tacos or something like that. It wasn't anything extravagant, but still, it was a fairly inexpensive
Yeah,
option.
he did that this year, which he operates only in Spokane for the most part.
Yeah.
I don't care for that vendor personally, but not
Yeah.
bad.
Well, it's worth continuing the discussion. We don't have to make a decision until next year, and I'll come up with some proposals to throw at you. And we can decide collectively what's the best direction to go. It's totally up to code. That's the nice thing. It's totally up to code. It's kind of the direction we probably need to think about going with more than just this food booth. If we can get the Lioness to consider moving, then an investment in that does pay off to us. Because we get 15% on their sales, and they do over $100,000 a year in sales at the fair. So there is a benefit back to us, but it also keeps people like Nathan off of our case a little bit. Fire suppression, having the health district not have to kind of look the other way a little bit on things like proper sinks, proper hot water, mop sinks, hand sinks, salad sinks. That booth has everything in it that's totally legal and up to code as of today. So, but I'll throw some proposals together and we can talk about it. I think it's worth the discussion for sure.
Mhm.
All right, that's all I got.
Thanks, Jim.
Thanks, Jim.
Have a good week. If you get a chance, any of you want to come to the debrief on Thursday in the EMM from 6 to 7:30.
Depends on if my wife leaves to Port Orchard. If she doesn't, I might come up.
Well, if you decide to come, I'll buy you dinner.
Jim, if there are any
What's for dinner?
grants available for Ken to attend the footing? The horse
Do we?
footing?
It's just the cost of the school is quite a bit more than normal, so that was the only reason. And it's in Nashville, so the travel costs are a little high.
They don't have any other around?
No, that's the only one every year. It's once a year, and I think next year it's going to be, usually it goes kind of to that side of the country, and then the next year it comes back to this side of the country. So it'll probably be in Vegas or even California next year. So travel costs won't be near as much.
I was just wondering if there are grants or something, a possibility to send to.
There isn't grants for that travel. And I'm also, just to keep in mind, I'm also sending Zach, our newest person, to the Basic Footing Academy, so that he can get up to speed. And then in a few years, 5 or 6, it takes about 6 years to get accepted into the Advanced Footing Academy.
Okay. Well, that's good that we have 2 applicants that could.
Oh, it's awesome. In fact, we get questions all the time from facilities. Aaron, they had problems at their slack on Saturday. 2 horse riders went down during their barrel races, and I talked to their staff, and they said they're really struggling with their dirt, and said, "Hey, is there any way we can come up and spend some time at your facility?" And I said, "By all means." Ken and Lori are really good at what they do.
Well, that's good. Good to hear.
Thanks, sir.
All right. All right. Thank you.
It is 11:02 a.m. and we will continue into our risk and safety update with Blair Coe.
Good morning. I just wanted to give you guys an update. It's been a little while since we've met. We've had a couple of claims since we met last time, so we will go through them. On the 27th of last month, Public Works had a couple of claims, 2 of them. An employee, while scraping asphalt off the mold board, which is the scraper on one of their apparatus, he's experienced abdominal pain, got checked out, possible hernia. So finding out about that one. Also on the 27th, while loading one of their large trucks, a rock bounced off, hit the headache rack, and hit the side window, broke it. So they were replacing in-house. The 29th of August, Sheriff's Office had a deputy come in contact with a person with MRSA. Also on the next day, they also had another deputy come in contact with a patient with MRSA. They weren't wearing gloves, so they're going through the precautions of that. On the 30th at the fairgrounds, we had a report filled out. They were having an event out there. A horse got tangled getting it back into the starting pen, and it fell on the individual that was riding the horse.
Was it the owner of the horse?
Owner of the horse
Okay.
ended up with sounds like a broken leg and possible internal injuries. We don't know for sure, but they were brought to the hospital by a personal vehicle. But they filled out a report and let us know about it, but nothing's come of it. We don't have a claim or anything like that, but they just let us know anytime anyone gets hurt, they filled it out just to be safe. On the 30th, Public Works, they were hydroseeding. When they were done putting it away, the nozzle shot off at the filler and it doused the employee with diesel. They just let us know what happened. They went home, they cleaned up and changed clothes. It was a near miss. So, and then also on 9/2, Public Works, heat rash from high temperatures. Don't know the exact of that one. I'll be talking to Brian on that one, figure out what happened there. So those are all the claims we have. So 7 claims since we've talked last. Been working, I'm now working with Shane on our renewal for WCRG. So we'll be going through that packet and getting that filled out. And that's due by the 18th. So in the next 10 days, we'll have that filled out and turned in. And it was 7 to 15% is what they're quoting us for the increase. I have taken over the L&I insurance and reporting for Larissa. So I now do all L&I claims and we're responsible for that. The access insurance that Shane came in here and talked to us about, he was wondering if you guys have thought any more about what you guys are thinking, the 10 million, or were you guys thinking more of the lower limit, about 6 million for about the 400K, which was a lot less than the 800,000. Because it does take, the quote's good for so long, and so do we want to wait till the end?
I'm just kind of curious what our budget's going to look like when we put these.
Do we want to wait till the new year?
We need to wait to see what our budget is
Okay.
looking like.
Say, let's wait till the new year and then see how we're looking.
November when we know.
Yeah.
When we get our budget numbers.
Okay. Wait till November, sort of when we do the renewal. Okay. I can do that. I will let Shane know that.
A little nervous.
No, I get it.
What the insurance increase is going to be with the new jail.
With the new jail coming up online. I get
We
it.
have a lot of new expenses that are going to hit us in 2026 that
Yeah.
going to impact us.
Sure. Okay, I can do that. And then I will talk to Shane and I'll talk to WCRG to see if we can get numbers of before the jail and then with the jail added, so we can kind of have a rough idea of what it's going to cost us with the new jails added and go from there. Also working on the special event form that Kat made from Public Works. I've gone through it and edited it a little bit more, added some more stuff that I think needed to be added, that what I did from Clear Risk. So I will have that and I'll send it to you guys to review the original and then what I've added to it that I think needs to be added. And we'll go from there. I'll send it to the PA's office and have them go through it as well. And then we'll be ready to go. There was some bond information that I talked to Daryl about that is going to be your guys' decision if we want to move forward with it on it. So once we're good to that point, we'll discuss that some more. At that time, this time, that's all I have. Any questions or anything you guys need me to do?
So the 2 deputies that were exposed to MRSA.
Yes.
Why did they not have gloves?
I don't know the whole story on that one. It wasn't well written in the report. It was just a real basic form. It sounds like they were going out to remove someone from a premise and they didn't know that he had it. And when they went to remove him, they found out he had it.
Do
So
they not have gloves in their cars?
they do, but I don't know why they didn't. And that's kind of what I was going to look into more of why they weren't wearing gloves, or if it's something we should start looking into having them wear gloves more often when dealing with certain individuals. So
Right.
I don't know how the call came out or what it was for. So
It's a MRSA, like an airborne, I don't even know if gloves would.
Staph infection.
it's a skin infection.
It's this.
Sometimes it's MRSA, but sometimes it's,
No, I know. I've had it. It
So-
was pretty bad. No, green gusher.
There's Daryl.
skin to skin to contaminated surfaces, body fluids, healthcare settings.
Hey, Daryl?
Not good.
No, it's not something you want to get.
You don't want to get that.
No. So I'll talk to what's done there at the sheriff's office and figure out, is it something they want to consider and change policy on and have them wear gloves more often. So did they not have them and forget that, or I'll figure that out and report back to you guys on that.
Yeah, I just think
Because the safety team, so the action review team meets tomorrow, and that's some of the reports we're gonna look at. I want to see what the action review committee thinks of that too, and see what they think about that, and I'll bring that to the sheriff's office.
Okay,
So-
sounds good.
Yep. Is that all, you guys?
Thank you,
Anything
sir.
else?
That's it.
All right. Have a great rest of your guys' day.
We will, you too. Thank you, Blair.
Yep.
Thanks, Blair. We'll go into a quick recess until 11:15. Good morning, it's 11:15. We're here with our treasurer's office update, and we have Treasurer Daryl Fezzik.
Okay, Kevin had a chance to read it. This was an article that went to World, give to Rob,
We
talk
can,
about the Chenain County problems with their report and the tip.
Yeah,
But then the follow-up from the port was saying, hey, county, you're gonna get $71 million of new taxes on all the personal property equipment. And it's going, if the port believes this, they don't know the law. And they may not even know how bad an impact it is, because personal property taxes are not new construction. And personal property taxes, unless you have a valuation, overall valuation of property in that district of less than 1%, there is no additional tax you're gonna get. All it's gonna do is lower levy rates. And lower levy rates actually harm the county each year, where you don't even get your base tax that you got in the initial year. You'll get less taxes. You don't get the future new construction and revaluation taxes, you get less taxes because your levy rate is lower. Now, the Port of Moses Lake did not know that. They assumed we at least get these things. And when Rob and I were there, I posed a question and telling them they were wrong on the personal property. And of course, I asked them for more information, where they got their numbers, and of course, they never responded back. And then I had the port, I called the port, asked them, when am I gonna get my numbers? They called them up. So I don't think they want to give numbers. They like not to be challenged on their assumptions. Of course, here the port is doing this, and I told the treasurer, the easiest thing for the county to do is ask how they got their numbers to come up with these numbers that they think the county's gonna get. And it's good, it's not fair to throw out numbers without knowing what your basis is. And so, that's the whole thing, is they were talking about $100,000 of $100 million of new sales tax revenue. But then it sure sounds like maybe they did the whole rate where the county only gets a small portion of that and not the whole amount, because if most of it goes to the state's the one that gets to be exempted out of this process and not have to lose money. So yeah, the state's gonna make a lot of money. And we're the ones subsidizing all those entities for them to get more money. So So that's the thing is, and then of course Keith Overbay was on Friday and I had a doctor's,
Kevin Overbay.
Kevin Overbay was on the KPQ. And unfortunately I had a doctor's appointment, so I couldn't listen in on it to see what he had to say, because they've been having the commissioners in the port coming in separately, giving things off without actually having them talk face to face and actually tell them to prove what you're talking about. So I've been working with the treasurer, giving them ideas of what to ask, what needs to be asked. And is the port as oblivious to what they think is going to happen? You know, would ports actually done this if they know the damage was this big regarding creating a TIF? So that's what I've been doing on that one. And then I had more questions that are unanswered on TIFs that I sent to DOR to get answered, because there's a few other areas that TIFs may impact. And so I just wanted to make sure. I also found, my office was given notice outside about some law change happening on September 1st. Well, wasn't aware of it. My own person did the research and found the law where current use removals are any that come out September 1st or later will now only have 4 years back taxes instead of 7.
Oh, really? September 1st?
Yes, so it's already in play. Yeah, we're in September, right? Yeah. So then they asked with the assessor's office, hey, you know anything about this? And then all of a sudden, Amy, 2 hours later, oh, I guess there's laws changed. So I don't know if I didn't think we should be the one telling about a new law change. But it also had a secondary law that affected solar farms that was inferring that a solar farm that's installed can also stay in current use in certain situations. So of course, while these are benefits to the property owners, it definitely has revenue impacts to the county, which means I have to budget less revenue next year for these impacts, especially the 4 years. You know, and so keep in mind is this does have impacts on our budget as the largest county with the most current use properties. So I also sent notice to the title companies about the changes on the current use form. I didn't think, I was assuming the assessor's office didn't pass on the information of the changes. Today we actually got down to 8 mobile homes in our sale. We may not sell them, but they're all starting bids of less than $1,000, except for one. And so, but that's pretty successful getting it down to that much. We had 3 redeemed on Friday. So, and our sale ends early tomorrow afternoon. Right now I have 2 employees out posting properties on foreclosure. That's in November. So hopefully we'll get a good reaction and get a bunch of taxes paid on those and reduce our number. But yeah, we also got a call from someone where we had a parcel in our sale, but we couldn't find the mobile home. Well, the landowner called, well, how come this is not on a sale? I was going to bid on it. Well, we couldn't find it because all the pictures the assessor's office took, it was just behind this huge house. He says, oh yeah, it's right behind our house. And we didn't have any pictures. And the assessor's office, last time they ever took a picture of it was in 2017. So we didn't know if it was still there or not. Usually landowners just destroy or get rid of stuff they don't own. And so, but yeah, he was going to bid on it, he says. But when we went to visit the property, we didn't have a very good angle to see that it was hiding behind his huge house. So we think we know where the owner is, and we're going to certify the taxes on his property in Adams County. But also, you know, you can contact him and let him know that address of that person, because he's been trying to acquire it too. And so we'll see. The interest rates haven't dropped down yet, but good investment options are far and few between, have a lot more calls happening on stuff, and the state pool is still up, but we'll see how far the state pool goes down when they change the short-term rate. The, yeah, and we've been, all this time, we've been trying to keep the investment purchases simple. Well, now, not, the simple ones are no longer very good. So we had to buy some more. They're complicated with premiums or buying things at discount and then having prepaid interest, which makes the investment reports a little more complicated. So I have to, now that we have this, I have to make some adjustments to our manual spreadsheet to match the investment software tracking. So we earned $1.17 million in interest income earnings for the participants in the month of August. And so we were at a 2.63 investment rate. State pool is still at a 4.38. It hasn't had the drop yet, so.
Do you think they're gonna lower the interest rates next
Oh,
week?
yeah, well, I think this next week, but I'm having a hard time believing they're gonna have a good case to do it anymore. Because we got too much inflation and too much other things, and right there, they're talking about a job recession we're going into. Yeah, and here, yeah, they're after that Korea plant, and they're just having a hard time having workers want to come to work and take that chance. So I'm not sure how many able American people are going to step right up for those jobs. They aren't easy jobs. I used to do them all. Yeah, we used to have a lot of high school students. No, not anymore. Too much work. It's not a fun industry to be in. And of course, now it seems the industry is focused now on how much insurance you can get for unpicked crops. And all the numbers being worked on, is it worth even picking versus the insurance I could get and not spend the money for labor?
Yeah.
If you don't have the labor to pick it fast enough before it becomes gets any worse quality situation. So, yep, that's all I have for today's Daryl Blather talk.
Thank you, Daryl.
Yeah, I had to deal with a 9 and 12-year-old at my house for 13 and a half hours yesterday.
We'll go recess. We'll recess until 11:30 a.m. Good morning, it's 11:30 a.m. and we're here for an assessor's office update with Melissa McKnight.
We're just trying to finish up our revals so we can get our values certified. We're a couple weeks away. We're still entering, and we have about, I would say 2,200 parcels we're still entering. And we're short-staffed because school started, and I think all the kids went and licked doorknobs and then went home and shared it with their parents.
The big COVID is going around.
Soon as school started, it was all the parents started quickly like, I don't feel so good. I don't feel so good. It was like, okay, and then it's gonna go through the office. But yeah, we're in the middle of that, but we're just plugging away. We're trying to get all of the, I have everybody but 3 in my office that's completed their trainings that were due today.
one has an extension because he was out a lot. And then one's working with HR. And then I'm the other person, and I'm gonna finish that up as soon as this is
I know, I haven't
done.
even asked in our office if we're done. Who is-
Everybody else has been really good about
I guess
it.
we should ask our office.
Carving out
Done,
time
Trevor's
was
done,
a little rough.
Barb's almost done, Carrie's done, Tony's done.
Oh, you got the little list.
Mike wasn't done.
Jalen's
Caitlin
done.
wasn't done.
I did it.
Did
I
you?
finished it. I told you. I put it off, but I finished it.
Josh is done.
So that's what we're just trying to get figured out. Matt and I will be meeting with Department of Revenue on a bunch of advisories that we're trying to get finished up. I think I have a couple of walkthroughs at a couple of Lamb Weston coming up. We're gonna be in Quincy in the morning and then Warden in the afternoon. So, going through all those reports and stuff. While getting out next year's request, got that out. They're back from them. We had to add some because they've hit the 25 million mark, so we're gonna handle those. Other than that, same old, same old.
Business as usual.
Just trying to get stuff boxes checked. I do need to meet with tech on about 4 different projects that we've got in the hop that have been stagnant for a while. But they've got people out too. So that's been a struggle. We should have our field modules hopefully in October. We have a meeting with that this week. Once I get that done, we can finish up the just appraised project with the auditor's office. We can get that all finalized. But we have to get that field module part done on the camera system first. So those are 2 of the projects I have to talk with tech about. The other one's about our computer replacement. We need to know what schedule that's on because Matt desperately needs a new computer. He's restarting his multiple times a day. Mine's starting to act up. Rachel died on her, so they came down and did hers in an emergency situation, and then Clayton's died on his. So they did his. It's like, no, we need to schedule these out. Waiting till the last minute's not working out. So, but that's about it. Got some people at training this week. Down in Wenatchee. I have 1 person in training this week down in Wenatchee. And then Rachel and I will be in a 2-day webinar next week. But we'll be in the office in case anybody needs us. We'll just be in our offices. That's on levy, our basic levy training. Then we'll have the advanced levy training, and we've sent off the roles to all the special benefit assessment districts so they can start their billing processes. And then as soon as we get prelim values, we'll get those out to our taxing districts. That's once we get reval. We've already started market adjustments on 5/6 of the county. So trying to get a jump on things. So we're working on current use rates right now too. Current use rates will probably go down because cost has gone up so high. So, yep, that's where we're at. You have a look on your face.
No, how is the Board of Ed, how is that going? Your hearings? You're
Um,
having none,
Yeah, we're just plugging along. I haven't heard, I've got positive feedbacks from a couple of new people, have got their first hearings under their belt. Board of Ed, I do ask for feedback on how they're doing. They seemed positive. So, yeah. We had one issue. It was questionable what the board did when we talked to them. We contacted Department of Revenue, talked to them. That was resolved. So that won't be happening anymore, so. Other than that, nothing major. You guys would have heard about it. Try not to bother you guys unless it's like something like, uh-oh, glaringly, you know. Just deal with stuff as it comes.
Question? Kevin, do you have any questions?
No, I just need to talk to the auditor about another question. About that annexation for the fire district.
And then 24th is the barbecue, correct? Do we have any? Do you have any update?
Rob was gonna work
Do you
on
need
it.
money?
I think it was 110, we kind of discussed.
Roughly 110 probably.
But we have not sent anything out. It's a big
Okay.
surprise for everybody.
Yeah.
No, Barb, I think she did send it out.
She sent it out, but
then
it was
it's
kind of
just-
like, well, Rob will let it, you know,
Yeah,
whenever.
I
It
saw
was
that
like,
email today. I was like, oh, okay.
I was like, okay, just let me know.
Work on my food order.
Just, it's like, yeah,
Get back
probably
to
should
you on
ask
that.
about that. Don't want to
We can
leave you
work on
hanging.
it.
So how does that work? Are we cooking or what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to cook, you cook. Usually it's like, well, every year it's different. I've cooked. Joey will cook. Tom used to cook. I think Gwen and me and Danny cooked last year. It just depends every year. But yeah, just jump on that
We
thing.
come
burn
in,
your
help
face
set
off.
up, and then we serve, and
Just show up, in other words.
yeah, I have a meeting at 1, so
Yeah,
I'm gonna
show
have to
up
bomb out of
early,
there,
don't
but
show up at, you're never late.
Yeah, go early.
if you guys need to use my office to, you know, put stuff in there again,
Sometimes you, I don't know what we're,
whatever. Let me know.
we don't know.
That sure made it too easy.
Whatever,
What you do is just.
Everything
roll in
was
with
already
everything.
cut, you know? Just did everything that's pre-done.
yeah. It was very easy last year. But
I mean, yeah, and it was cheaper. There were a couple things that were more. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
You have that list we did last
hopefully it
year?
won't be smoky. That's all I could.
What we need list?
So we're gonna get rain this week, and it's gonna all go away.
What do we call?
Prefer not to get rain for about another month
No,
myself.
rain now.
No, we need.
I need the air cleared out.
Take some wind.
My hand,
Blow
my
it
hair,
somewhere else.
Need those fires out.
I'm working south,
sinuses
blow
can't
it
take
north.
it.
Rain's up north, so you're gonna be fine.
All right, we will go into a recess until 1 p.m. when we are back for position management. Perfect. Good afternoon, it is 1 p.m. and we are here for position management review. Good afternoon.
I would assume that Mandy is joining us.
She was here today.
Should we give her a moment or two?
I just passed Michelle on the stairs going up, so.
So Andy is here. In a minute, but Andy is here to help talk through his request for the extension secretary. This is a union position, so really what we're looking for is a review of the position changes and then bargaining authority, which we might need executive session for.
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
Andy says yes, yes. So I'm assuming that.
Sounds good. Thank you. Barbara, can I steal that back from you?
Oh, you
And
bet.
I'll give it back.
Thank you.
So Mandy has this to follow. So sorry, I didn't mean.
Can always email it to Barb as well.
Okay.
Request form?
Yep, I've got it.
Oh, you got it, okay.
Yep.
Sounds good. Maybe while we're waiting for Mandy, maybe you can help fill me in. I don't know how the staff in your department became county employees. The two became county employees versus the other WSU staff. I just don't know the
It's
history.
always been that way.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's a long, WSU Extension in the county offices is always a combination of WSU and county offices. So in every county, it's
Okay.
that way.
Okay.
And usually WSU has a county director that works with the county, oversees the office, and usually they have support staff that's funded directly from the county. Sometimes it gets complicated that the county funds a WSU position, and we used to have some of those.
Yeah.
In fact, we actually still do. Our 4-H coordinator is actually funded through our MOA with the county, but she's a WSU employee.
Okay.
I was gonna go over kind of the history of the office.
Oh, okay.
That'll kind of cover that, yeah.
Okay.
I just didn't-
Just for background, yeah.
Yeah, I just didn't know what the
We have
history
an
was.
MOA with the county that covers all that.
Okay.
Is that a yearly MOA?
Yep.
January 1st?
It doesn't change much, other than the numbers, yeah. When did you start here, Cindy?
2007.
Oh, okay,
No, I'm getting really close to being done. Let me check my little line.
I've been here longer.
How long have you?
I'm kidding. 1999.
Oh, wow.
Why'd you say I'm kidding?
What?
I said, why'd you say I'm kidding? You have been a long time.
Yeah, you have been.
Oh, I have, yeah.
91?
99.
99.
1 year, 3 months, and 22 days.
What grade was I
Not
in
that I'm counting.
99?
I was 9.
Sixth
Nah.
grade, maybe?
Yeah.
Yep.
She born in 90?
I was born in 89, but one day of
Oh.
89.
Oh, really?
Mhm. The
Wow.
30th, so I just add up. And
On
then I
December
calculate.
30th? Like
He's
almost
feeling
3
good right
years.
now.
Yes, almost. And my mom's birthday's on the 29th.
On the bright side, you must almost be finished.
Close, yeah.
Getting there.
Yeah.
You got more
we'll
than
see.
1 year, whatever, 3 months. And
Oh, definitely more than that, yeah.
Dang, you've been there that long time. That's gonna be a decent retirement for you. That would be cool. Is that your first job? As
No,
far as after school?
no.
Oh.
No, I had several jobs. Colorado, California, Nebraska. We came here from Nebraska.
Today, Monday?
All day.
yeah. We're halfway through though.
Hmm?
Monday, we're halfway through. 105.
Okay, we waited for you.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Okay,
Oh, you go
so,
ahead.
yes, if you could.
All right. For those of you, I think I know almost all of you. I met Kevin at the fairgrounds. Yep. Like I said, I've been here since 1999, and so I kind of thought back till that time. At that time, we had 10 program staff in our office and 4 county support people. And now we're down to 4.25 program support or program faculty personnel from WSU and 2 county support. So there's just kind of been a long decline, mainly due to funding cuts, both on the WSU, county, state. And so in the last, I think I said 6 months in my report, but it's been longer than that. I've been director since 2015. And in the last couple of years, I've noticed that we just don't have enough work for our 2 secretaries, 2 full-time secretaries. And that's for several reasons. First of all, we just don't have as many people in the office, both working in the office, and we have a lot more remote work. And so, and then the nature of our work's changed too. We have a lot more. We used to have a lot of events, and now we really collaborate with other organizations in doing our educational events. And so that's cut down on the amount of work. And we just don't have the number of people, like I said. Even the ones that are in the office are really, a lot of them are working remotely, at least on the WSU side. And so I started looking at it, and I talked to several of our faculty or staff for WSU, and they agreed that there's just not enough work. I've tried several times sending out emails saying, the secretaries need more stuff to do. Hasn't happened, and so I think this is kind of the next stage. Instead of eliminating a full position, because that would mean trying to cover lunches and changing. I think we have actually more than one full-time position, and that's why I didn't want to cut a full-time or cut it out completely. But going to part-time, I think, would help us to give both positions enough work that they're busy all the time. That kind of covers it all. Not real complicated. Any questions?
And so the board has the presentation, the business need presentation handout, which goes into a little bit more detail that Andy was talking about. We also.
Yeah, just one other thing, the federal, we have employees right now that were under federal funding that got cut, and they're only going to be here. There's 2 employees, and they will be gone. It was going to be the end of September, but they found enough funding to go through the end of November. So we'll be down 2 more employees in the end of November.
And if you'll notice, this request is slated for December 1st after those staff get laid off from WSU. Andy was generous enough to provide some guidance as to coverage, office coverage with 1.5. What happens if the full-time is gone? Who will cover the office? He mentioned that, and feel free to jump in, Andy, but that the office used to be open to the public, and there's not a lot of traffic from the public into their office, so they could close the office if needed.
The exception is right before fair. We have lots of 4-H kids coming in.
Sure.
Yeah.
And
we actually used to be closed on Fridays. That happened when we moved to Moses Lake. We kind of did away with that, but we could re-implement that possibly.
the second FTE support staff was kind of focused on projects. Those projects have been completed, so there's no new projects. So that's where the history kind of is on the 2 FTEs. Does the board have any, go ahead.
Just one more point is that both of our secretaries have the same job description, although their jobs differ because of the distribution of the work. So one does more financial stuff, one does more youth 4-H stuff, but they both have the same job description.
Which might change with the compensation study that we're doing.
Right.
So that would be a good time to make some updates. Oh, I'm sorry.
Is this person comfortable going to part-time, then, or are they gonna start looking for another job with?
I have no idea. I haven't told them anything because I didn't know. Yeah.
Is there any way to utilize them in another department? I mean, I know you've tried to maybe message around, but maybe Renew or some location that is in Moses Lake that might be feasible to share. They, of course, that department would have to pay for them, but is there a way to keep that person as full-time but only have time with you at WSU?
Again, I don't know.
I mean, it's an option if there are other positions, they would have to apply just like anyone else.
So Andy, have you thought about cutting, if you're cutting about it's not 20, 15 hours. Have you thought about cutting each of them back, like one day, or does one do different duties and they're needed?
Yeah, I
I
never
guess you
thought
may
of
have it in
cutting
your
them
mind,
back
have it
both.
figured out, but maybe,
I never did think of that.
okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's nice to have one full-time employee just to cover all the days and, yeah. That's kind of the way I thought it would be more advantageous to the office. Maybe not to that certain employee, but yeah. For the office, it'd be nice to have that one full-time employee.
And to your point, the project, the second FTE was more of a project, hands-on person. Those projects have been wrapped up.
Some of the bigger projects that we had to revamp our whole website. Yeah, that ramped up or finished off. Yeah.
Okay, no, I was just throwing that out there.
Yeah, and that's something you might want to think about, but.
Yeah. Is there an advantage in other ways?
Well, no, I just
Because I
am
think
looking at the two.
for the
employees,
office, it would be
'cause
an
you're
advantage.
basically gonna have to pick one and say, I mean, you're gonna have to make that decision. Maybe you kind of already have, maybe that there's one that just the duties are gone that one is doing. So,
I think I was told that the person hired the most recent, that happens. It's automatic.
Seniority.
Yeah, seniority.
That's language in the contract for a layoff, but it would be similar. My assumption would be that
It's a
it's
reduction of hours, yeah.
So, yeah, there's no
okay.
choosing.
Okay. I have no issues with it.
Questions? I don't have any questions. Mandy, do you have anything else
No.
you'd like to ask? Okay. Well, thank you for your time.
All right, thank you.
And I will bring it back during my meeting tomorrow with the board for final decision.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Andy.
Yep, see you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too.
Hi, Andy.
Appreciate you coming all this way. Okay, that's what we have for you today.
Just the one?
Just the one today.
That's it?
That was it.
Gee, now what I'm gonna do for another 12 minutes.
Run around the block.
Do you have anything for us?
We haven't really had one that we've cut hours.
Right. Yeah, we haven't had one.
Well, our budget's always been, for the last several years, been looking really good. I don't know what it's looking like moving forward, but I think we have some big expenses coming. That might be the first of a few.
Hopefully not, but could be.
Cost savings is great. I just would hate for that person to not
I know.
be if they rely on that income, obviously part-time
Some
wouldn't
people
be.
can handle part-time, some cannot.
Then we have to find someone else who work only part-time.
It's never an easy decision to make when it comes to people's livelihoods, of course. Okay, well, thank you.
Thank you.
And welcome back.
Thank you. It's nice to be back.
We will go into a recess till 1:45 PM.
Well, they use it all the time too.
Good afternoon, it's 1:45 PM and we are here for a commissioner's work session. Barb, do you have any items for today?
I do not, sir.
Okay, we just have the 2025 facility use and rental agreement for Grant County Leads Summit for November 5th and 6th, requesting use of fairgrounds, 4-H and commercial building. So this project is the same as Lead Conference 2024, and Tom has been very involved, so is Jim Anderson Cook, and then EDC and PUD. Is there anyone else that's been involved?
No, that's the main players.
So they're just requesting to waive the
Fees.
for the 2 building rentals for the Lead Conference.
That would be great.
So if we're good to put it on consent agenda next week.
I think
Did you go
it's a
Lead
good idea.
Summit last year?
Yep, that was it.
It's good.
That was pretty well attended in my
Yeah, I think this year probably would be better.
I think
Is it
it'll
a
be
1 day
better
or
attended
2
this
day?
year. People know what it's about now,
They
so.
have it put down for 2 days. I don't know.
I think we're working on 2 days.
Working on
with
a
Half a day, one
first
day.
night or first evening,
Oh,
and
any
then the
big
next
thing and
day.
stuff.
We need to build a hotel at the fairgrounds.
Oh.
And then we could,
Oh, okay. I think we just put some tents up.
that'll work too.
Or wait, isn't it just Grant County folks?
But still, if you drive up from Royal City or drive down from Heartline, you know, that's quite the drive, 2 days in a row. You know.
I'm used to driving everywhere. That's why I do some of our evening meetings. It's so nice. GTA from North District.
100%.
Zoom, jump in on Zoom, then you don't have to drive.
So that's the only item I had. Cindy, Kevin, you have anything for this meeting?
No, I've had a few complaints about a few things, but
I've had some complaints on West Shore.
B Road but I know that was
I got told not to lie to one of the people, Presser, Marlene. She said I was lying. I sent her the list of the approvals for the driveways
okay.
because, I thought this might help you. You're telling us that
Feel a little
no
better.
one has signed an agreement to the county to work in their properties, so I sent the list to her. She wasn't on the list because she doesn't own her property. The county doesn't have to encroach on in order to do the repair work.
Okay.
So she's not on the list. So then she was like, this is all lies. I'm not even on the list. So I responded politely, but
her driveway was not affected. That's why
Yeah.
it's not on the list.
yeah. And there was a handful of others. 72 were affected. And 90, out of the 90, the other 20, they can do the work in the county right away. So,
Is that all we've got left on that is fixing driveways?
yeah, there was a list, striping, our fog lines, driveway fixes.
So they want the speed limit figured out first.
Yeah.
What's the speed limit now?
It's currently 35 on there now, isn't it? It was 25 and then they went back to the original 35. But at the north end of West Shore, they want it down to 25 so they can have their golf carts. Golf course.
Well, the golf carts do cross the road already.
They do, yeah.
So,
What's this, I'm just gonna ask a dumb question. What's the speed limit got to do with allowing or not allowing golf carts?
speed of the road
Anything
has to be
over
25.
is not allowed.
Is that a state thing or just a grant?
State.
Yeah.
Interesting. Somebody needs to tell the residents of Deer Park then.
35, golf course is 25.
You're in Stevens County, right?
No, Spokane.
Oh, I was gonna say, it doesn't apply to Stevens County. They do whatever they want.
They do whatever they want in Stevens County, I can tell you.
Barb, Caitlin, did either one of you get an email? Pam from Desert Air was gonna send one about the South Grant County, because I couldn't find it. She said she just sent it, and I'm not seeing it on my emails. Did it get to go to commissioners?
Just sent it now, recently. I have not gotten anything today. I haven't gotten anything from her in a while.
11:05 a.m. Okay.
Caitlin, did you by chance?
I have not seen anything from her today.
Because I've been looking for it in my emails, my personal and my work, because I couldn't find it in my work, and I haven't seen it.
Yeah, not to commissioners or me personally.
Okay. I wonder if she's got something spelled wrong or something. Okay. Well, that is supposed to be Wednesday. Desert Air, or in Mattawa. I'm not sure where. Mattawa, Desert Air. Haven't gotten anything.
Yeah. I haven't seen nothing yet.
It's the only thing I have.
get that when I text it
Has
earlier.
anybody talked to Kurt? Is Kurt?
I just talked to him personally, not,
Haven't heard anything from him.
but he's on sick leave right now.
You doing okay?
Yep. I reached out to him during, right before the fair in Ellensburg. Cause I was gonna go to, take him to Julep, but then I ended up not even going.
Where's Julep?
It's a restaurant in town.
Nelson?
Yeah,
Who knew?
it's good.
Okay.
Do you have a ticket in for that?
It works. That was my only question, and Cajas Valley, or Quincy Valley Regional Parks, meeting was canceled. Going to Portland Wednesday.
This Wednesday?
Kind of excited.
All right, well then, if there's nothing else for work session, we will adjourn for today and be back tomorrow at 8:30 for consent agenda review.